Once upon a time when I was 16 years old, I came out into these woods with a buddy of mine, and we decided very stupidly to take that field of dry grass and light it on fire. And here's how it happened, and how stupid it was, and what I learned from this experience. So, on a May day, many years ago, I was bike riding with my buddy, and we were little pyros at that point. I was 16, all right? We were both, I think he was 16 too. So we come out here, and I remember I stopped him, and I was like, hey man, this stuff will burn well, let's light it up. So we take our lighter out, light up a big patch of dry grass right here, and you know, smile and get our kicks like, haha, this is cool, look at it burn. And then the next thing you know, it starts to get kind of big. Well, you know, and at that point we're like, okay, we better, you know, start to put this thing out before it gets out of control. And so we start to kick at it and kick at it a little more. And next thing you know though, it's kind of on another patch of dry grass. It's on like another patch. And we're kind of kicking at it a little more, trying a little harder, going faster. Like, come on, let's get this, let's get this. Before you know it, it's climbed onto yet another one. And we still haven't fully put it out at all on these other two. And then next thing you know, it's on another one. Now we're going faster, like faster than we'd ever gone before. Because now it's getting to where it's getting to where we know that it's starting to outpace us, all right? Our adrenaline is pumping. We've never really been at this point before, or at the, like, this is like the limit of where we've ever been before we had, you know, when we were doing this idiocy, and we would sit there and do this stuff. And we were at a point where we were quickly approaching a point that we had never yet experienced, all right? So as we keep going, and it starts going more and more, we start getting crazier and crazier. And we're like, come on, like screaming, like, let's do this, let's get it out. Moving fast, kicking at it, doing everything we can in our power to sit there and get it out. And I remember at one point, like, the adrenaline and panic overtook me, all right? And I did something totally illogical. I took my bicycle and I threw it into the fire to snuff it out, which makes no sense whatsoever, all right? Destroyed a perfectly good bicycle in the process, all right? And then, in desperation, I do something like crazy, but it was the only thing I knew to do at that point. I go, and I took like a running leap, and I go and I jump, boom, right into the center of it, right into the hottest part. Jump in, scream, and jump out. And I was wearing shorts at the time, all right? And I go again, jump right into the center of it, boom, slam into it, scream, jump out. And then one more time I try it. I jump right into the center of it, right into the hottest part, boom, try to snuff it out, scream, and then jump out. And by then, we were spent. We were done. It was out of control. It was past our point of being able to contain it far and away. And then everything was a little blurry, kinda, but I do remember this clearly. A procession of people start walking through the woods, because we were near houses, all right? They come from over that way, and it was like led by this older lady who was like, I guess she was sick or something. She had like a hoarse voice, like she had a sore throat or something, because I'll never forget her voice. She walks up, there's like a line of people, and they're just like, look at this, blah, blah, you know. And she comes up to us, and we try to lie. And we're like, no, it wasn't us, you know, it was some kids that we saw do it. We tried to put it out, right? And she goes, and she had, like I said, she had this weird hoarse voice, and she's like, no, you didn't. I saw you boys from my upstairs window over there. I saw you light this fire. I saw you light it. And we're trying to deny it, right? And then, this was like the craziest part. This is what made it sink in. This is what made me like learn my lesson. Well, the whole thing made me learn my lesson. She goes, all of a sudden she goes, and look at your legs. And she points her fingers down at my legs. Because I was in shock. I didn't know I was at the time, but I was in shock because I didn't feel any of this. And I looked down to see big chunks on both of my shins of skin melted down towards my ankle. Big chunks. And I almost got sick on the spot. All right? Now, unlike our exceptional president, I don't have overly hairy legs, all right? And so the scar of these things isn't that noticeable. This is a lot of years ago now, all right? But be that as it may, I still burned my legs up pretty good. It wasn't pleasant, all right? So, next thing I remember like the authorities are coming through the woods and they're like, you know, escorting us out. And then, like I said, I was 16 years old, thankfully. And so I didn't get in too much trouble. All right, I learned this lesson then rather than like as an adult, okay? But the point of the story is twofold. To explain, it's idiotic to play with fire. I learned my lesson that day, period. I like to burn a very safe, nice bonfire, but I never get reckless with it. That's a hard rule of mine. What I'm trying to say here is yeah, that's really stupid to play with fire, for sure. But what I want to get at is that, like I said, I was 16. We don't make great decisions when we're younger. Our minds aren't fully developed, our brains aren't fully developed until we're like 25, okay? So, that being the case, why are we trying to feed the heads of kids, in many cases much younger than 16, to try to convince them that biologically things are off with them and that they should change their, shall we say, gear up, all right? And that they should alter their gear, okay? Why on earth are we gonna take kids whose minds are like sponges and convince them of something that will permanently alter them? It's a sad state of affairs in this day and age. It really is. And as much as people that push that stuff feel that history will be on their side, they are mistaken. History will prove them wrong. History will not remember them well. Once this insane part of time passes, it will not. And I've watched as time goes on, like people have just fallen so far from God, it seems, when they need him so much. And that, in my opinion, is why a lot of these things are happening. Why these crazy pushes to do such strange things to our youth, to kids, are happening. So try to think about these things as you go on, all right? Because like I said, this is a story I've told many times in my life, never on camera yet, but I did kind of want to put it out there and stress the point that when we're younger, we don't make the best decisions always, and we should consider that.